If you're watching this video, this is the chance for you to face one of the most difficult questions a person can face after 60. Should I leave my marriage? Be honest. I bet at least once in your life you've considered walking away from your marriage, wondering if there might be more happiness or fulfillment waiting for you elsewhere. Hi, I'm Vernon. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 important factors to consider before making the decision to leave your marriage after 60. These considerations are grounded in the wisdom that comes from years of experience and reflection, and they'll help guide you through this difficult decision with clarity and confidence. One of the most important aspects to consider is your own personal happiness, and whether staying in the marriage is truly allowing you to live authentically. But I want you to pay special attention to our third consideration, because what I've discovered might surprise you about who will actually be there for you when you need them most. This could be the key to helping you make the most informed and empowered decision for yourself. Before we dive into these important considerations, take a moment to reflect. Have you truly thought about your own happiness and well-being in this relationship? If this question resonates with you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. You're not alone. Many others watching this video are likely facing similar struggles and would love to offer support and advice. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss valuable insights like these. Now, let's start with our first key consideration. Consideration number 1. The financial reality of late life separation. I will start with something that might sound unromantic but is absolutely crucial. The financial reality of separating after 60. My friend Margaret came to see me after 38 years of marriage. She was miserable, had been for years, and was convinced that divorce was her only path to happiness. But when we sat down and really looked at her financial situation, the picture was sobering. Her teacher's pension would be cut nearly in half. The house she'd lived in for 30 years would need to be sold. Her healthcare costs would double. This isn't about staying in a marriage just for money. That's its own kind of prison. But it is about understanding that financial stress can turn what you imagine as freedom into a different kind of suffering. The ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu taught, "He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough." But do you know what enough means for you in practical terms? More importantly, there's a stark contrast between men and women in the financial impact of divorce after 60. Women over 60 who divorce experience an average 45% decline in their standard of living, while men only face a 21% drop. This significant gap highlights a reality that can't be ignored. Can you truly maintain your health and well-being if you're constantly stressed about money? According to a study from Bowling Green State University, this financial burden weighs much heavier on women after divorce, impacting both their quality of life and emotional well-being. It's not just about numbers. It's about your well-being and long-term happiness. Could the financial strain overshadow the emotional freedom you're seeking? Take the time to reflect on what enough means for you. It's not just about income. It's about security, peace of mind, and ensuring you're able to thrive independently. Start by assessing the impact this decision might have on your day-to-day life. Track your expenses. Imagine the practical shifts in your lifestyle, and evaluate if the emotional relief you seek is worth the potential financial strain. Then calculate what those expenses would look like if you were maintaining your own household, paying for your own insurance, managing your own retirement savings. Factor in legal fees, which average $15,000 for contested divorces, and can reach $50,000 or more when retirement accounts and property are involved. If this video has helped you reflect on the financial realities of separation after 60, give it a like. It's important to make informed decisions, and understanding the full picture is crucial. Remember, the choice to leave isn't just about seeking happiness, it's about finding balance. Consideration number 2. The health impact of major life changes after 60. When facing life-altering decisions, particularly after 60, we often underestimate the emotional and physical toll they can take on our health. It's easy to think of emotional pain and stress as something temporary, but the reality is that our bodies at this age respond differently to stress than they did in younger years. Major life transitions, like leaving a marriage, can trigger what the Mayo Clinic calls a stress-related health cascade, where one health issue leads to another. The emotional strain can manifest in unexpected ways, and studies show that staying in an unhappy marriage can have as serious an impact on health as divorce itself, increasing stress, anxiety, and physical illness. Research in the Journal of Health and Social Behavior found that people in high-conflict marriages had cortisol levels similar to those suffering from chronic illness. It's not about deterring you from making the change you need. It's about understanding the full impact of these decisions on your overall well-being. After all, stress is inevitable in any major life change. But what we often overlook is what kind of stress our bodies are best equipped to handle. Is it the stress of leaving a relationship that has drained your soul? Or is it the stress of staying in an emotionally taxing situation? Take the case of Celine Dion, for instance. After publicly announcing her divorce, she was diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome. This disorder, which impacts her muscles and vocal cords, worsened under the stress of emotional upheaval, resulting in canceled performances and significantly altering her lifestyle. Although her health condition may not have been directly caused by the divorce, it highlights a crucial point. The emotional weight of major life changes can trigger or amplify underlying health issues. So what can you do? Monitor your health. Pay attention to how your body responds to stress, such as headaches, fatigue, or sleeplessness. If these symptoms arise, consider consulting a healthcare professional to address stress-related concerns before making major decisions. Stress management. Practice stress, reducing activities like meditation, yoga, or walks in nature. These methods can help ease emotional tension, lower cortisol, and improve overall well-being during this time. Seek support. Emotional well-being plays a key role in healing. Reach out to a counselor, therapist, or trusted support system to help navigate this transition and ease both emotional and physical challenges. Ultimately, the decision to leave or stay isn't just about emotions. It's also about how you're caring for your own health and well-being. Stress might be unavoidable, but by understanding how it affects your health and taking proactive steps to manage it, you can make an informed decision that protects both your body and mind. As Hippocrates wisely said, healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. Taking the time to understand your health realities can open the door to healing and provide you with the clarity you need for this important decision. This health consideration connects directly to our next point about support networks, because your physical and emotional well-being will largely depend on who surrounds you during this transition. Consideration number 3, your support network and social connection. Now we come to a consideration that might surprise you: your support network and social connections. This is an aspect of separation that many overlook, but it's crucial in the aftermath of a major life change, especially after 60. While we often focus on the emotional and financial aspects of separation, the impact on your social life can be just as profound and sometimes even more challenging to navigate. A longitudinal study from the University of Michigan found that individuals who separate after age 60 lose an average of 75% of their social connections within the first year. Even more sobering, it takes an average of 3.5 years to rebuild a social network, and many never fully recover their previous level of social integration. This isn't meant to discourage you, but rather to help you prepare. If you're seriously considering separation, Start working on cultivating independent friendships now. Look for opportunities to build connections outside of your marriage. You can join groups, volunteer, or pursue interests that are uniquely yours. Building these independent connections will not only enrich your life, but they'll also serve as an emotional safety net in times of transition. But if you're staying in your marriage partly due to social reasons, take a moment to reflect honestly. Are you surrounded by people who know and truly care about you as an individual? Or are you mostly connected because you're seen as part of a couple? Acknowledging the nature of your relationships will significantly influence your decision and your well-being afterward. To make this process easier, consider setting small goals for yourself, like attending a local event or joining a social club that interests you. Even if it's just once a month, beginning now to build connections outside of your relationship will make the transition smoother when the time comes. Make sure that your social life and emotional support system are grounded in people who truly value you, not just your role within a marriage. Reflecting on these relationships will be key as we move forward. Your social needs and the kind of relationships you seek may evolve as you consider your remaining years. Do you have friends who are truly your friends, regardless of your marriage status? It's time to start thinking about your next chapter with a support system in place that will stand by you no matter what. Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll talk about what's most important to you moving forward. Consideration number 4. Time horizons and life expectancy. Before we explore our fourth consideration, I'll reflect on what we've examined so far, because each of these elements interconnects with the others. We've looked at the financial reality of separation, not just the immediate costs, but the long-term impact on your standard of living and security. We've examined the health implications, both the stress of change and the stress of staying in an unhappy situation. We've explored your support network, the crucial understanding of who will actually be there for you during and after a major life transition. Now comes perhaps the most philosophical consideration: time horizons and life expectancy. One profound realization I've come to through the ups and downs of my own life is this: when you're in your 40s and unhappy in your marriage, you often feel like you have decades to figure things out. But when you reach 65 and feel the same unhappiness, suddenly reality hits you might only have 15 good years left. That shift in perspective changes everything. It makes you evaluate what truly matters, what you're willing to settle for, and what you need to change to live authentically in the time you have left. The ancient Roman philosopher Seneca wrote extensively about the importance of memento mori, remembering that we will die, not to make us depressed, but to help us focus on what truly matters. At 60 and beyond, you have the gift of perspective that younger people lack. You know that time is finite. According to current life expectancy data, if you're 60 and in good health, you likely have 20 to 25 years remaining. But here's what the statistics don't tell you. How many of those years will be healthy, active, independent years? How many will be years when you have the energy and mobility to create the life you want? But here's the deeper question. How do you want to spend those precious remaining years? In a marriage that drains your spirit but provides security and companionship? Or an independence that might be lonely but feels authentic to who you've become? This isn't a question anyone else can answer for you, but I've noticed something from people who stay in unhappy marriages often spend their remaining years feeling like they're slowly disappearing. People who leave often spend their first few years in turmoil, but then, if they've planned well, find a sense of self they'd forgotten existed. This time consideration leads us directly to our final point about the difference between loneliness and solitude, because how you spend your remaining years alone will determine much about your satisfaction with this decision. Consideration number 5. The difference between loneliness and solitude. Making life-altering decisions can sometimes be a journey through emotions we may not fully comprehend at first. For many, the fear of being alone is overwhelming, but even more profound is the realization of the loneliness that can exist even within a relationship. After 45 years of marriage, I made the difficult decision to separate from my wife. Our marriage wasn't toxic or dramatic, it had simply lost its spark. We were roommates more than partners, coexisting in a space that lacked emotional connection. Both of us were terrified of the prospect of being alone, but what frightened her more was the idea of spending the rest of her life feeling alone even while sitting next to someone. 6 months after our separation, I had a revelation. I hadn't been alone for years, I had been lonely. That distinction was pivotal, and it's something that could profoundly change the way you view your own situation. The German philosopher Paul Tillich once said, "Loneliness expresses the pain of being alone, and solitude expresses the glory of being alone." In a relationship where you feel unseen or unappreciated, you experience loneliness, even though you're not physically alone. However, after a separation, you might embrace solitude, quiet peace that offers personal growth and freedom. I found studies from UCLA's Loneliness Research Project reveal something striking. Those in marriages where they feel lonely report higher levels of depression, anxiety, and physical health issues compared to divorced individuals who find satisfaction in their solitude. The research found that lonely marrieds had poorer outcomes than content singles across nearly all aspects of well-being. So, here's the question to ask yourself. Are you someone who thrives in solitude, or do you need constant companionship to feel fulfilled? This is not a judgment, but knowing which you are will greatly impact your happiness after separation. Take a weekend entirely for yourself, not one filled with tasks or distractions, but a weekend of simply being alone with your thoughts and presence. How do you feel? Do you experience peace, or does anxiety creep in? Can you enjoy your own company, or do you feel desperate for interaction? Sometimes, the disharmony of separation gives way to the peace of authentic solitude. Conversely, the harmony of staying married may shield you from a loneliness that you may not be ready to face. The key is knowing yourself deeply enough to predict which experience will bring you more peace. Are you prepared to create a fulfilling life on your own terms? What is your relationship with solitude? Do you embrace it with ease, or does it make you uneasy? Your answer to this may just be the most telling factor in your decision-making process. Conclusion. As we conclude this exploration of one of life's most difficult decisions, I want you to understand something fundamental. There is no perfect choice here. Whether you stay or leave, there will be regrets. Whether you prioritize security or authenticity, financial stability or emotional freedom, companionship or solitude, each choice comes with its own set of challenges and rewards. The question isn't how to make a choice without regrets. The question is how to make a choice you can live with peacefully. If you stay in your marriage, you can choose to approach it with renewed effort, realistic expectations, or peaceful acceptance. If you leave your marriage, you can choose to approach your new life with courage, planning, and openness to growth. The 5 considerations we've explored today: financial reality, health impact, support networks, time horizons, and your relationship with solitude are tools for gaining that clarity. Whether you stay married or separate, your happiness will ultimately depend on your ability to find meaning, purpose, and peace within whatever circumstances you choose. And remember this: whatever you decide, you're not locked into that decision forever. If you choose to stay and work on your marriage, you can always leave later if things don't improve. If you choose to separate, you can always explore reconciliation if both people are willing to do the work. The goal isn't to make the right decision. It's to make your decision for the right reasons, with full awareness of what you're choosing and what you're giving up. The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." You're here, watching this video, because you're examining your life. That examination itself is an act of courage and wisdom, regardless of where it leads you. Subscribe and turn on notification for more wisdom and insights on navigating life's transitions. Don't hesitate to like, share this video with someone who might benefit from it. Thank you for joining me on this difficult but necessary journey.